Greetings, this is Cal Knight again. We are back with Mechwarrior Online. And the point of this video is going to be to cover weapons loadouts and stuff. Turn down the audio a little bit, just bear with me. I know for you guys it's not so bad, but for me it's on my end. Sorry about that. Alright. Yes, that is how you change the video, the settings on your Mechwarrior. That was all this video. Goodbye. No, alright, yeah, settings is down here, down the bottom. And if you want to log out the game, it's down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Alright, with those aside, weapon loadouts. Just go straight to Mech Lab. So there's probably, it's going to depend on your gameplay, your game style, gaming style, whatever, as to exactly how you want to do this. But no, lost my train of thought. How exactly you want to do this is going to depend completely on your playstyle, of course. With that being said, there's like a couple of ways that people tend to seem to deal with this. You're gonna first have to decide whether you want long range or short range weaponry, or mid range, depending on, like, say, your playstyle. But understand this, that you can set up your mech for long range, but unless you're like perched on top of a mountain somewhere, chances are you're gonna have to come in short range at some point sometime. It's just the way of the beast. It's just the way things happen in battles. Things always occur where people sneak up on you. Things happen. So it's a good idea to at least have a few weapons on you for fighting up close. Even especially like a long-range missile boat, you want to have something up close, because eventually something's going to come up to you, and firing long-range missiles up close is just ineffective. There's no way. I don't think it does any damage. So you want to make sure you have something for up close and personal, especially the little, like little light mechs will have the tendency to come up to you and blast you and then like run away and stuff. So you want to make sure you can actually, blast back up close and personal. Now, with that being said, once you have range figured out, like say you've got your, for long range, if you want to go with missiles, you got your long range missiles. Long range missiles, they will lock on to a certain extent, but at the same time you can just fire indiscriminately so long as they're past a certain distance. Look here. Oh, nah. Yeah, so let me do that. All right. So I can't point things out, so you have to look at the. So the if you look, the optimal range is 900. But down below you'll see that there's like a 0, and then there's a spike, and then there's out to 900 and drops down again. Like, say, anything before that arming period, the missiles are useless. So you want to make sure you can get out to that full 900 meters for long range missiles. And like, say, you can fire over things, you can fire over cover. Long range missiles, they'll fly up and then they'll come down from above. Let me Fix it. For medium range, those arm immediately and then drop off at 550 meters. Short range missiles are they arm immediately and then they drop off short range, but they do more damage than because you see it like they do approximately maybe a little bit more than two points per missile. So you got SRM 2. That means there's 2 missiles, each doing 2 points of damage. Damage up there you see is 4.3. So it does a little bit more than 2, but it's something that might be because of skills and things that increase that. SRM 6. It does 12.9. Like I say, this is modified by skills and things, so it might be normally it's about two points per missile. Long range missiles, it's 1 point per missile. Medium range, it's like one point per missile. 1 point per missile also, but they are similar to long range missiles except that they don't require the arming time. Thunderbolts, they're instantly arm, but they only do about half damage up close, but they do full damage as they go out and then they come down. And those are another cannot benefit from arms. Yeah, but it is a medium range, high payload, lock-on missile. Except they're kind of like the medium range, long range missiles that go up and come down on you. Streaks. So regular SRMs, you fire them, and they're kind of like explosive shotguns. They just fire out and blast. Streaks, they weigh a little more. You get about half a ton more per, well, the regular ones. Then there's for the mid-range, it's a regular ton, and then another half ton above that. The streaks, what they require a lock before you even fire them. With a regular SRM, you could just like fire them and they'll just go straight no matter what is going on, and you could accidentally fire and then you might have been aiming like further away and you had it like chained to a weapon group to a different longer range weapon, and they fired anyways. So with the streaks, they forgo that, in that you have to have a missile lock for them to fire. If you don't have a missile lock, they won't fire. So it saves on ammo. It also requires you to actually target a mech in order to fire him too. So you have to target him, and then it'll try and lock on, and you can fire him with the weapons group or whatever. And those are streaks. Rocket launchers, regular rocket launchers, these are dumb missiles. They take a little while to fully arm or get effective, and then they drop off quickly. But they're one-time use. They shoot and forget, and they won't be used again. A narc is a way of like tagging a mech, so it makes it easier for other missiles and stuff to lock on them. Let me get some drink here. As you see there, missile crit damage is plus 15%. That's looks like a quirk skill thing. Quirks plus skills affects that. other missiles. Yes, I guess that's crit damage I want. So I've got a skill or something that's active that causes a plus 15% crit damage for missiles. So ballistics, this is going to be your well, it's going to depend on a mech that's going to have them. I do have 2 slots on here for ballistic weapons, but I've gone to the autocannon 20, ultra autocannon 20. I before had I had ultra 2 or something, and a Gauss rifle. I think it was a snub-barreled Gauss rifle. They were okay, but I wanted to try to go with something a little bit bigger and meatier, so I went to Ultra AC 20. Excuse me. My throat's been a little worse. The more you talk on these videos, the more your voice starts to get a little hoarse and stuff. But so, if I drink here, hopefully that'll help with that hoarseness. So first off, you got the regular autocannons. AC2. As you see, you go massively long distances with an AC2. There's only there's well, AC2 I think is 1 projectile. The regular ACs are just 1 projectile going that distance. And of course the number is roughly the amount of damage it causes. So you got AC2, AC5. The light stuff, they decrease modified AC2, sacrificing range and cooldown for having less weight. So you save 2 tons between the two. This one is 8 and 5, so you save 3 tons on that one, and some slots. But it's a smaller cannon for a little bit of range loss. You get to AC10, AC20. The AC20 it's a big slug, but it drops off real quick. And like I say, the straight line is the max damage, and then after it hits the optimal range, it starts dying off and drops off, and that's the amount of damage it does. LBX cannons, these are your like shotgun type projectiles. It's it's 1 projectile for every damage. So like the LBX2 is 2 projectiles causing 1 damage each. The LB5, 5 projectiles. LBX10, 10 projectiles. LBX20, 20 projectiles. And it's a shotgun pattern. What you want to use your LBXs for is if you're trying to get crits or trying to do splatter damage to headshots. The head on a mech is very hard to target, and if you try to aim straight at a head, it usually will hit the center torso instead. But with the LBXs, it's kind of goes like splash damage with projectiles, and therefore you have a better chance of getting a little bit of the head in there and getting headshots with them. Also, if you actually manage to penetrate armor and get into the soft bits of your mech or the enemy mech, then having more projectiles causes more internal damages. Rotary AC, these are like machine guns. They're like miniguns with those projectile sizes. They take a little bit of time to start ramping up, so you have to hold down the button and it'll charge up, and then it'll start firing. What the differences in LBX gets a little bit more range advantage out of it, so that they go to a little bit more longer ranges, but they do shotgun patterns. The rotor AC, it spins up multiple shots and starts doing. It does like up there. You see the damage at 6.6 per second. That's as you hold down the button to fire. So it's good for like doing like strafing of areas, particularly if you have like a little mech that's coming up and running around circles around it. Using a rotor AC can kind of sort of splash damage them with a lot of shots. They're decent enough on range. They've got the LBX 5. What that was, 620. And you see though the range dies off a little bit. They're close weapons. The rotary ACs, they're kind of like large caliber machine guns. Because these little machine guns, they're really short range weapons, and they cause very little damage. So these are kind of like bigger versions of machine guns. The Ultra ACs, these are the Ultra Cannons. Autocannons, they can be rapid fire, but they have a chance of jamming pretty bad, just as rotaries also have a chance of jamming too, but that usually is after they've been spinning up for a while. The Ultra Cannons, they have a chance of getting a weapon jam. Pretty high chance. You might get a few shots in and then it'll jam. But what it does, you can hold down the auto shot you hold down the shoot button. Oi, golly blast it, getting hiccups. All right, so you hold down the button and it will fire like a regular autocannon that way. But you can also like double tap it and it'll fire a second shot. But the second shot has a chance of jamming up. The Ultra ACs, they're pretty long distance. They're not as long distance as the LBXs, but they are still decent distance-wise, range-wise. And like I say, they're good for like double tapping your shots, which is really good the higher up you go, because you do an autocannon 20 at double shots, you're doing like 40 shots, 40 damage in 2 shots right off the bat in quick succession, which is pretty good. Gauss rifles, these are long range weapons roughly, usually. And they require a little bit of getting used to, because you have to hold down the button to charge them up and then let off. One thing that's a danger with the ballistics is that they do have ammo that could explode. With the Gauss rifle, it's fired off electromagnetically, so the weapon, the ammo itself isn't explosive, but because you're using very high capacitor power generation stuff for the gauze, get that gauze effect. If they get hit, then the gauze rifle itself will explode, which isn't so bad if you have it in the arms, but can be kind of bad when you have it in the torso, one of the torso parts. So if you want to use gauze, it's best to put them in the hands or in the arms, away from the main body. But either way, it's they have their uses. It's like I say, it's all about gameplay. Also, another thing about using your arms is that you can uh, separate your. You can fire your arms separate from your torso weapons, and they have a more of a better range of motion of what they can hit. Anything that's mounted in your torso is pretty much where your torso is facing is where you fire at. So the gauze rifles, like I say, they're pretty decent in damage. You see the gauze rifle, standard gauze rifle does 15 damage. The snub barrel gauze rifle does 15 damage also. It's just a little bit less range, and I think it's a little better cooldown. Reduced cooldown and added spread. So this is kind of like your shotgun gauze rifle, is your SB. I think it's like 2 projectiles get fired off on that. They combined do 15 points of damage. Then there's a light gauze rifle, which does 10 damage. At a slightly better range, I think. Or I guess it's about the same range. It's just it's lighter. It doesn't take up quite as much space as the large gauze rifle. But you lose a little bit of extra damage. Right? You lose a little bit of damage. Then you got your heavy gauze rifle, which is an up close and personal weapon, which does more damage than your regular gauze rifle. That does 25 damage per hit, but it's up close and personal. So that's a bad day for mechs that are up close and personal. They're right up close to you. Size-wise, they're on par with the Pound X, the 20X size-wise, but they do a little bit more damage. What's that? My glasses, I can't see me. That's 18 tons versus 14 tons of LBX and 15 tons of the Ultra. So they're very, very bulky. But they're a slug, at least most of them are. This one's at the 2 shots, but in one blast. But heavy Gauss is just 1 slug that does 25 damage. Of course, your machine guns, these are mainly for up close, personal, and they're good for like doing like just if you're gonna just clump everything in your there's the Crusader has a lot of spots in the arms for stuff that they're intended to have just like like 10 machine guns in the arms. And they're individually they don't do too much, but if you put like 10 of those in one arm, then that's like 10 15 points of damage per second. So yeah, and the mag shot's like a machine gun for it's a Gauss rifle design for smaller enemies. Again, up close and personal rifle. But you can see it's a half-ton weapon there. Takes up two slots. So very small weapon, but it's kind of like electromagnetic version of the AC2. Again, then on the mag shot, your probably your weapon is what's actually the danger, not the ammo. So with that being said, now to energy. Let's close the missile somewhere net. Energy are going to be any of these spots where I have like these yellow splash point things looking. You got your flamer, which is like your energy version of a machine gun, I guess, with like really up close and personal. You get your tag. These are for tagging enemy mechs. They don't do any damage, but they are good for like getting lock-ons for other missiles and stuff. Speeding up the lock-ons for missiles. And you have your small lasers. These are very small, very light, and very up close and personal. You get your medium lasers, which are, as of course, obviously, medium. You see your damage for your small lasers is about the laser version of the autocannon 5, but up close and personal. Then you have your large lasers, which are moderate range and do more damage than the medium laser. Then you got the binary laser cannon. That's kind of like it's like a double barrel laser shotgun. It does 18 points of damage, which is like twice the damage of a regular laser. Oh, a large laser. But you're saving a little bit of tonnage there because of 5 tons for one large laser. So you save a ton by going binary instead of, and you put it in one slot and it counts as one weapon. So in essence, it's 2 large lasers and one weapon. So like if you see over here my right arm, I've got like 1 slot for lasers. If you put the binary binary laser there, it'll count as one weapon. But it does a lot more heat too. You gain a lot more heat off of that. As you see, it heats 5.9. It's 13 there. So firing these things are very hot, and it will send up your heat quite a bit. But they count as 2 large lasers in one package that could count as one weapon. You got your ER weapons that are the little bit extended range. They have a little bit longer range than your standard counterparts. Seems like the optimum range there 160. ER is 200. What you're causing there is what you're getting there is you're using up a little more energy to get that extra range out of it. So you're going to get a little bit more heat out of them too. You see that's 1.1, 1.9. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of people that like to bunch up their lasers and put a bunch of them in their arms and stuff, and so they'll fire like a massive amount of lasers. So when you bulk fire wet lasers, you're going to have bulk fired energy too, of heat. ER medium lasers, this is where it gets a little bit more effective because the regular medium laser is going to be at 270. ER lasers, medium laser, is 360. So you're getting a lot more range out of those for the same space and the same tonnage. It's just more heat. So if you're taking care of your heat well, then you can opt to go ER instead of regular. ER large lasers go, you know, really far out, and that's a big difference between your large laser and your ER large laser. That can go out to 1400 max. And of course, out at that range, you're going to be only doing like 1 point damage, but you can reach that distance. Now your X pulse lasers are a little bit where things start to get a little bit weird. A regular pulse laser, medium range, mid range, short range weapons that do blast fire. They do like multiple firings. So you can see they do a little bit more damage than ER and regular versions. Because it's a pulse, it's not one blast. Medium pulse lasers a little bit do even a little more damage there than the medium laser. It's one per, but if you start multiplying your weaponry, it adds up quick. But it does come at a cost of more tonnage there. And you get your large pulse laser. So those are your large, right, and your regular pulse lasers. What is an X pulse laser? These are continuing fire pulse lasers. So they will fire, fire, fire. These ones will fire, and you get like 3 blasts out of them, and then they'll cool down. These have no cooldown. They'll fire, maybe have a second of cooldown, and then fire again. So they'll keep firing. They're kind of like your machine gun of lasers. They are the same tonnage as your pulse lasers, but they'll like I say, they're continual firing, but they don't do as much damage per shot. Back there, they don't do as much damage per shot, but they keep firing. Like the cooldown is like a quarter of a second. See, cooldown quarter of a second. So they're rapid fire lasers. A regular pulse laser. Where is it? Let's go with the. So we got the medium pulse laser. So a regular pulse laser does 6 with a cooldown of 2.8. So you're doing 6 points of damage up front, but you have a long cooldown. If you have an X pulse laser firing for that same amount of time, then they do 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 4 times in 1 second. And so in that short period of time, you got like what? It was 2.8 cooldown with short durations. Durations is I'll get to that in a moment. So your pulse lasers, X pulse lasers. So this is you're getting about 2. You're getting about 4 a second, 4 shots a second. So times that by 2 again, because that one's 2.8 or whatever. Yeah, 2.8. So in the same amount of time that the other one would be doing 6 points of damage, potentially this one's doing, what's that, about 8 times? So you're doing about 8 12 points of damage potentially in the same period of time with an X pulse laser. Now, of course, you're generating heat too, but let's see, see, the heat's 3.6 on that one. That one's 0.9, so times that by 8. 8 plus, because there's 8 plus another 2 or so. So you're getting about 10 shots off with the X pulse in the same amount of time you're doing a medium pulse. Plus, you're getting a little bit better range too, because that one's 270. This one is 240. So you get a little bit better range out of them. For more heat, potentially. Now, of course, you could just hold down the button until the heat increments a little bit better, because the pulse lasers, you're firing it, and then you're kind of giving it a cooldown period, and you're firing it, giving it a cool bit. But if you have if you have multiple lasers firing at the same time, so you have 4 pulse lasers firing at the same time, that's instantly, so if let's say you have 4 medium pulse lasers firing at the same time, that is 12, 14, 15-ish heat all at once. You fire 4 medium X pulse lasers, your heat comes up incrementally a lot slower, but so to do the same amount of damage or more will require you to get a lot of heat, but it builds up over time. And you have better incremental control over your heat buildup, but at the cost of it being the same as it's the same capacity, same tonnage and slot usage as the regular pulse laser. You just have, it's more incremental than the regular pulse lasers. Then we have PPC. PPC is particle projection cannon. Particle projection cannon. This causes kind of sort of like splash damage, particle splash damage. It's kind of like an energy shotgun. It splashes across enemy mechs. Now, it does also have a tendency to heat them up and makes it more easier to target with other weaponry, supposedly. Let's see, it's a part of the engine, part of dealing physical damage to the target. Standard PPCs have an exponential damage fall off under 8-meter range. So the regular PPC is designed to shoot farther out than up close and personal. You got the ER PPC, which doesn't have that effect, but it takes up. But it doesn't take up any more damage. But it does cause, I think, more heat. Yeah, see, 4 more heat. So if you don't want to have to deal with the range limitations of regular PPCs, then you would have to go with the ER PPC. You do get a little bit more longer range out of it, and no up close drop off for enemies being up close on top of you. But they are hotter, and you fire 2 of these at once, and it gets you very hot. Light PPC is roughly half the size, roughly half the size of a. They'll still take up 2 slots as opposed to 3, but they are less weight and a little bit less range. But they're, again, particle. They splash damage mix with heat and over an area. You have your heavy PPCs, which are, again, you have your drop off for close up mechs, but they do a little bit more damage because your regular PPCs do 10, heavy PPCs do 15. But again, you're getting a lot of heat out of it. Well, it's not too bad for versus the ER PPC at least, but it is a little bit hotter. That's 15 each. So if you have 2 of these firing off at once, you'll have a spike of like 26 all at once. The snub nose PPC, these are kind of like your sawed-off shotgun of PPCs. Let's see, what's it? Snub nose particle protection cannon fires energy projectiles, dealing physical splash damage to the target at longer ranges. Snub nose PPCs do not have a minimum range. So in essence, they're a regular PPC that doesn't have to worry about the up close limitation. But their range isn't as far either. They don't fire as far. A regular PPC goes a lot farther out. But the snub nose PPC, it fires. It's good for up close combat and does the same amount of damage with. It does less heat than ER PPC. So less heat for close range, but you don't have to have the range limitation of the regular PPC, but it's not up close and personal. I think, let's see, PPC is 3.7, and that's 2.6. So yeah, you're saving a little bit of space and a little bit of tonnage there too by going with the stub nose. So I've covered, let's see, then we have the AMS. Now, in the overview video, I covered these a little bit, but there is some benefit to going with the regular AMS versus the large AMS, the large AMS, laser AMS. The regular AMS, it uses ammo, of course, but it only takes one slot. So this could be a useful thing. Say you want to put your AMS in your arm, because that's where my AMS here is. If you put a regular AMS there, you can put the ammo for it someplace else. So you can put like in the head or whatever. It doesn't really matter where you put ammo, as long as you have ammo on the body somewhere. So what that does is that it cuts you down to just one slot usage in one specific location. Let's say you have, let's say it's a left torso that you have your AMS slot, but you also want to put a lot of weaponry there. You can put your AMS there, your ammo over here, and break up some of that usage of slots. On the other hand, a laser AMS, you've got to, it's just, it is what it is. You put it, where it is, and that's it. Like I say, there is a little bit of laser, of heat, 1 per second. So by themselves, they're not going to do too much, but they can. If you're doing a lot of shooting down of missiles, it can add up. One of my mechs, I've got about 4 of those, so 4 of those across the board. And this is where it would be necessarily a good thing for having, maybe, to use lasers instead of, like I said, it's going to depend completely on you and what you feel like. Going with a regular AMS, you still have to deal with spacing, of course, but you also have to deal with your ammo being explosive. So let's say you have you have 4 AMSs. You'll still need to put ammo somewhere for those AMSs. You could get away with maybe like 1 or less, or 1 or so ton of it, but with 4 AMSs, 4 AMSs, 4 anti-missile systems, you're going to blow through potentially ammo pretty quick. Just out of curiosity, how much does come in those? Whoop, that's done. Let's drop that down so we can see what's going on here. So MS ammo has, well, 3,000 shots. So you have. So actually, that might actually be a decent thing to do to save space and maybe a little bit of tonnage instead of having 1 for each. But 3,000. I have shot upwards of 1,400 missiles down in a playthrough, so that that could potentially be a way of saving a little bit of space and some space and tonnage. I could actually do that on this. Put in some regular AMSs and then centralize the ammo for it. So that is a possibility. Because if it, now, of course, if you lose your ammo, then you lose access to all your LMSs, to AMSs, AMSs, all your anti-missile systems. If you lose your ammo for that, then that's it. And also, if you take a hit to where your ammo is, then that pretty much would wipe out your complete missile defenses too. So it's got pros and cons. If we let's say, like I say, these are just drag and drop. up to an open spot. And see, that opens up a little bit of more spacing. You could probably throw in some more ammo and stuff on these. I could probably move this over here. Although I could possibly throw in a case up there too. Because your Gauss rifles are explosive when they blow up, they could cause damage to your internal areas next to it. So there's something called case. It's ammunition, contained ammunition, something, whatever it is. You put this in, and that helps keep the damage from your exploding Gauss rifle to just this area. You know what we could also do? Now, something I've also thought about doing is putting your ammo in your legs. Your legs are usually pretty well armored as it is, so it's not likely that your legs are going to be blown off. It happens. It does happen. People do target the legs. But people more often than not target your torsos. And so your torso weapons get racked quite a bit. A lot easier. But could put the AMS ammo there. Centralize it, because your central torso, your center torso gets blown up. You're out of the game anyway, so may as well go out with a bang. Now that we have those, see, I've opened up a few extra tons there by doing that. You know, I've only been playing this about a week or so. I had started playing it over in, when it was an open beta. But that was just like for a few days or just for a little while. It was not a long time. I'm going to bump that up at all if it would. And that would open up a heat sink. We have a heat sink there. That drops off a ton again. So I got a large X pulse laser in here. So about still a half a ton. Don't know. So actually, could do bump that back up to a full. It's just mounted there. And we got this nut, those gauze, so we got throw one of those down there. Yeah, and like I say, case, it keeps ammo explosions into just one area. So like say if you have, put all your ammo in like one torso section and put a case in there, so like if it blows up, it doesn't, the explosion doesn't go into your center torso or head. Because all your damage goes inwards. So if you blow up your right arm with ammo, let's say you have ammo in your, right, that's an idea. Let's move the ammo here. I've got 2 cases in there. Let's take one of those cases out. You only need 1 case. But at the same time, if you lose your autocannon, then it's kind of pointless to have a... Yeah. Anyways, I'm playing around with this. You're getting there and playing around with all my... But yeah, see, so it's all drag and drop. You just have to just drag something to where there's an empty spot. In fact, there's a lot of empty spots. I could probably say do endo steel. That gives us some more tonnage to play around with. So I do have a couple of slots over here in the 2 slots, roughly 4.5. Excuse me. MS ammo. It's 1 ton. So we have roughly 4.5 tons to mess around with. Let's see what we have for energy. Let's see. Could throw in 2 medium X pulse lasers over there. Of course, we have another energy slot over here. If we take that off. What range do we have on these things? 810. 700 plus some extra. So we could actually put like let's see if it some range on those. Yeah, that's 270 in range wise. A large pulse laser takes up 7. Now, PPCs would drive up the heat. I had a large X pulse laser in there earlier. 2 and 7. I don't know if there's anything else we can do for... Well, let's put these in here for placeholders for the time being. That leaves us with... Can we gain a couple of tons there? But unfortunately that takes up our internal space, so... Yeah, see, unfortunately we got enough internal space for all of it. So 14 slots, but it takes down... We're going to endo steel structure. It takes down, or takes up 14 slots, but it also takes off 4.5 tons. So still have some space over here for another autocannon. If we move this ammo inwards, because we only have about 2 tons to work with. The Corsair is a little bit of a quirky beast because it's got a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. Therefore, it's just like it's an ugly looking little machine. Mag shot would be for up close and personal. It would be in the same, was it 2 slots, but for half a ton? Problem is though that goes out to a large distance. See, this is all the thing you have to deal with. You have to figure out, well, dude, this has this range, this has that range. I try to lump my weapon systems into preferably 2 shots, because you using the mouse get your primary and your secondary shots. So if we lump together our, of course, this mech doesn't have that large of a range to, because most of the time you have your arms, when you mount a arm weapon, you've got like all the actuators and stuff in your arm that allows you to like move it sideways by quite a bit. And therefore, if you put a weapon system on your arm, you can actually fire a lot further to your side, your left or right side, or even up and down than what you can might do with your torso itself. Because your torso twists so much in one direction. By putting it in your arm, you can actually get a better reach for blasting to the side of you. It takes some practice and stuff, but you have to unlock your arms to do it. The problem is, we don't have all that much tonnage to work with without. Well, let's see here. I don't know if you guys if you guys are watching me ramble on about how to optimize your loadouts here. So, like I say, you've got to play around with this stuff to get things optimized the way you like them. See, these are 2 tons a piece, so I'm gonna take those off. Yeah, so your machine guns will have like a really short range. A light machine gun actually goes out a little bit further than the regular machine guns. Heavy machine gun. mag shots on par with your medium lasers. What's this? What do we got here? Oh, no ammunition, that's fine. Alright. Just throw out some ammo for that. How much shots do those deal with? Do it on the side. That gives 100 shots per ton, plus 16. But that pretty much fills out all the structure too, so still a little under tonnage. Which is fine, you know, it's now before we save this, we can also go into a testing ground. I like to go with the forest because there's a couple of light-ish mechs nearby where you spawn at. And you could test this loadout to see how well it does against mechs. So let's try this out. Now, of course, I haven't set these up for the weapon group, so we're just gonna end up firing everything all at once.
Target acquired.
Watch that go up. Yeah, you see the if you look at my on my reticle, there's like those little boxes. Those are each weapons group. The when a one turns green, that is my Gauss rifle charged up. So there's another mech over here we're gonna take a look at. I'll show you what I mean by that.
Artillery strike online.
Artillery strike online. We're not doing artillery strikes right now. Alright, so
Target acquired.
target acquired. Yeah, see how it turns green? When it turns green, you let off your finger off the button, and it'll fire off your Gauss rifle.
Target destroyed.
That's actually pretty darn effective. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with this loadout. There are other mechs further on and stuff, but I'm not gonna go into that this video. I know I've probably been rambling on. Let's see if we can save this. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit expensive, but yeah, endo steel can be a little bit expensive. The further up you go in the weight classes on your vehicles, the more tonnage your mech, the more it costs. Same with your armor. It's by your tonnage, how much it costs. And so, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with this configuration for a little bit. We're gonna go to weapon groups real quick. So, like I say, I like to group my same stuff. In the same categories. 700, the Gauss rifle goes a little bit further than that. But the that does have a long range. That's long range. So yeah, let's put our two long range weapons together. So what this will do, left click brings that, causes you to fire that one. Right click causes you to fire these ones. And that's that. And make sure you remember to save. It's been several times where I've played around with the weapons grouping, then I get like, you know, select mech or home or something, and I forgot to save it, and it reverts. So with that is now selected, let's go to the academy again, because I like to go to the academy to test these things, because I can get like actual numbers of the actual damages that it causes from our weapon systems. When you fire at these the turrets. And for some reason, my mouse likes to walk around.
To the Mechwarrior Academy.
Welcome to the Mechwarrior Academy. Yeah, right, whatever. Yeah, for some reason, my mech likes to start moving around before. Target.
Target acquired.
Let's get within optimal range because we're going to need to be able to fire. Let's go up till our heat is
Critical.
And that's how much damage we did. 144 damage. So if we're starting to fire all our that one
Artillery strike online.
That was 85 damage for what we did with just those few shots. And I see up the around my targeting reticle. You see there's that rectangle to the here in the upper left corner of that targeting reticle. There's the yellow one. When I hold down, the green lit off. And it's 95 damage. So yeah, you can do some decent damage with these things. So we can fire them all at once. Almost blown myself up. 210 damage. Pretty decent. How we do for ammo? Gauss rifle is okay-ish. We got 3,000 shots for our AMS systems. Mag shot 200. That we barely even touch the ammo for the mag shot. Now there are skills that allow you. I definitely, if you're going to put any sort of gauze rifle on your weapons on your mechs, make sure you take the gauze charge skills. There's 2 of them. That it gives you about a second and a half time to hold on to your button. Stop it. Yeah, so yeah, that is how you. Jeez, the gauze rifle does go out pretty darn far. 1 kilometer. I can fire my gauze rifle to a kilometer out. And then the LBX-5 is almost as far. There is another way of testing your your weapon system to make sure you can get a good use out of your weapons. This will let you practice your shooting ability with your weapons, your loadout.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
This is mainly looking for accuracy and
Target acquired.
hits versus kills. This isn't going to be a good representation about the damage it causes. It just lets you see how your firing rate is and how good it is to get your fire rate up, get your shots on target. Actually, this is a pretty decent range even for the... All you have to do is 1 point of damage for it to count as a hit. 1, maybe 2 points of damage. So 8 shots, 8 shots, 11 kills. 11 shots, 8 kills. I am dyslexic. All right, one more round. Come on, where are you?
Target acquired.
So this is mainly just making sure you can get enough. Get your bullets on target. You want to make sure nobody... Whoop, Velocity will help with your weapons. Velocity will make sure you don't have to worry about too much lead time. For the faster your bullet is going, the farther it'll travel in a set amount of time. So that's a decent score for not wasting ammo or anything like that. Of course, again, when it comes to actually shooting mechs and stuff, you actually want to make sure you're doing a lot more damage and getting a lot more hits and stuff. But that's just making sure that you can get your shots out on time and hit with them. So that's the weapon loadout. Down and dirty, getting your weapons set up. Boy, now I got the hiccups. Like I say, you can also do one last thing we did kind of cover while we're here. If you hit backspace, that'll switch you over to chain fire.
Target acquired.
No, it's not going to let me do it with the... What chain fire is supposed to do is supposed to chain through your weapon systems. What the heck are you doing now? Just do what you're supposed to. No, anyways. It's not so big of an issue with this particular weapon system because maybe if I could do this. No. Alright, Well, there's also a way of like. Let me see if I do my this is my using my joystick. Let's see if we can do change fire with that now. There we go. That's not right, dude. See, that is change fire. It fires each weapon separately. Well, you know, if you want to do a lot of damage without having to worry about heat, that's one way of doing it. How to use chain fire, how to yeah, the way I ended up having to do it was I had to go into my joystick and use my little hat on that to be able to switch through that weapons, or in the, if you look over on the right hand side over there, see how I select my active grouping. Stop. By setting it on the 2 and doing backspace, either you fire all of them at once or you chain fire. And that's how you did the chain fire. Probably go through and figure out the timing, the amount of weapon systems and stuff that go through there and do that sort of stuff to fiddle around with. I'm not gonna go through that in this. Wait, you stop that! Why the heck? I wasn't even touching my stuff and it said, I want to walk. I'm gonna go walking. Anyways, so yeah, that is your weapon systems. How to deal with chain firing and stuff, active firing, and then you hit R to...
New target acquired. New target acquired.
Area of, operations.
New target acquired.
Also, it'll do it like automatically. Sometimes it'll do it automatically, but it's not going to do it here because it's not like that. Alright, so, yes, that is weapon systems. Setting up weapon systems, moving around, targeting, and all that fun stuff. So that is your weapon systems in a nutshell. And that does get out of here. Yeah, so I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. It was a quick and dirty way of setting up your weapons. Some things to think about. Yeah, that is thank you again for watching, and if you have any other questions, please leave a comment, and if you'd like to see me play down the game, or if you'd like to see me try and play or use this weapon, this loadout, leave a comment. Otherwise, subscribe if you want to see more of my comment, or more of my comments. Yeah, if you want to see more of my comments. If you would like to see more of my content, please subscribe. And please leave your likes and all that fun stuff. Thank you again for watching. This is Cal Knight. and I am signing out.